Okay, so you've committed to 12-step, one of those meetings. It might be a substance, it might be a behavior, but it's gotten the better of you. And you've started going to meetings. How do you know when you're supposed to share? This is Beth Wee in the Koinonia Kitchen with Lee Kimball. And we're going to talk a little bit about sharing at a 12-step meeting. You know, when I first said, when do you share? I would have said, now, today. Get yourself out there if you want to get helped. Let people know who you are. It's so much easier to help somebody when you know who they are. True?
True. And if you're not familiar, just very briefly, a meeting is a group of people together that are suffering from a common challenge, seeking a common solution.
Right. It's a powerlessness, and something about that powerlessness has made your life unmanageable. It could be gambling. It could be substance abuse. It could be codependency. It could be you're the child of someone who had substance abuse. There's so many different ways that the 12 steps will help you regain lifestyle.
Yeah. From the experience of not being able to not do what I don't want to do.
Right. So when you have too many thoughts in your head, it's a great time to go to a 12-step meeting. And in 12-step meetings, sometimes the facilitator will say something like, does anyone have a topic they want to talk about? That would be a good time to say, I have too many thoughts in my head. Yeah. And I'm struggling with, I'm angry, or I'm hurt, or somebody won't talk to me, or whatever it is that's going on. Don't you agree?
Yeah, and we're speaking of when the time to share is, okay, somebody brings that up as a topic. I have experience with that. That's a good time to share.
That's a great time to share.
Because that's going to let that person know, number one, you're not alone, and I can share, okay, and when I had that, this is what I did.
So you get some solution ideas without talking about your personal issue.
Yep.
So I have a friend that says, don't tell me how to get through the problem. Tell me how you got through the problem when it was affecting you.
Share your experience.
Right. Because that does give strength and hope.
Yep.
Yeah, it certainly does. Yes. So what about when you're afraid to share? Is that a good time to share?
Yeah, and it's a tough time to share, but it's like anything else. Once you do it, it becomes easier.
Yeah, it is a situation where when you start to live a 12-step life, because it is a lifestyle, it is not just a respite. It's not a place you go to rest for a little bit and then go back into the world. 12-step is a group of principles that if you live by these principles, your life will become more orderly.
Well, they refer to it as a new manner of living.
Yeah. So your inner man actually changes, and you have a new way of life. So when at first you don't have the new way of life yet, and it's scary to share, but sharing at meetings is one of the ways that new inner man is changed.
Inner person, if you will.
Inner person, yes. Okay. And they have a saying, they say, when you're off the beam. And it's a funny thing because I grew up in a high school that was gifted in gymnastics. The high school used to win national tournaments in gymnastics all the time. So when I first heard the term off the beam, I thought of the balance beam in gym class because we had gymnastics as one of our...
I don't know what else you could think of.
Well, off the beam is a sailing term.
Is it really?
Yes, it's also an it's people that fly know it as a different term. I did not know that. Yeah, so there's different terms, but being on the beam, no matter if you're just trying to be balanced or if you're trying to catch the wind so that your sail goes, or so that you're going to land on an airstrip and not in the water.
Recentered.
Yeah, it's a way. So when you're feeling off the beam, meaning I'm out of balance here, that's a great time to share at a meeting. at a 12-step meeting. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
And you don't have to say too much. You can just say, I'm really off the beam. And then what do you think caused it? I'm going through a change right now in my job, and I'm uncomfortable. I don't like my new job, and I quit my old job, and I'm real uncomfortable in my new job. Period. You don't have to say anything else than that. What will happen if you share something like that in a 12-step meeting? Usually, other people that have had experience in that will say, I was uncomfortable in a new job, and I chose to stick it out, or I chose to da-da-da. And they will play out their scenario. Will it help you? Maybe, maybe not.
One of the things that I've seen important is if it is a meeting where a topic is brought up, if you can't try and stick to the topic, be aware of your time, because there's a lot of people in that room that may want to share.
Yeah.
Others. I'll never forget, I was a guest at a meeting once, and I heard somebody refer to a person that raised their hand and said, I don't really have anything to share, and then spent 10 minutes proving it.
Yeah. Well, the whole idea of 12-step is to live one day at a time, clean from a substance or a behavior that is detrimental to your well-being. So 12-step meetings are groups of people that know what that feels like. So even if you have nothing to share, being at the meeting will show support for those who need to share.
Hugely important point.
Yeah, your presence is really important in a meeting.
I heard it once said, somebody was talking about reasons not to go to a meeting, and one of the responses was, well, I don't really need a meeting today. And the counter to that was, thank goodness the people at your first meeting didn't feel that way.
Right, yeah. They say in 12-step that you come to get and you stay to give. And that's true to a point, but whatever your situation is, whatever your point of powerlessness is, it will rear its ugly head in your future. And even after you get on the beam and you're living at an even keel, so to speak, you're going to have rough seas here and there. And it's so good to be used to being in the meetings rather than trying to go back because you're in a bad place. So if you can keep going to the meetings, the meeting makers make it, they say. What does that mean? They make it through life with less distress, with less irritability, with less risk
of returning to the behavior that they had initially come to overcome.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when you need help, when you want to be part of a group, share. Those are 2 times that are wonderful times to share at a meeting. When you share at every meeting, give yourself a break sometimes. Stop sharing at meetings for a season. Give yourself a little fast from sharing. And you'll be surprised when it's quiet in the room and you're uncomfortable and you feel like you should raise your hand and say something to break the quiet. You'll be surprised right after those quiet periods, somebody who's been afraid to share for a long time might just put their hand up.
And we've spoken in another podcast about listening. One of the values that I've heard people say is when they're at a meeting and they have a desire to share, they share early in the meeting because it makes it easier for them to listen.
Oh, that's a great
point. Rest of the meeting.
Right. Well, you know, when to share at a 12-step meeting? Whenever you can.
Yeah.
You know, when you need help, when you can be of help, those are the times.
And you will find out that you are not alone.
It's time to take addiction out of the shadows and shine the encouraging light of recovery on everyone affected. Good Seed Podcast is powered by BethWE.com, a nonprofit ministry based in Vero Beach, Florida. We'll start the uncomfortable conversations that turn despair into hope and complacency into action. Connect, communicate, and thrive with us. Check us out online at BethWE.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk again soon.